If you are selling to Europe through Shopify, Amazon, Etsy, or your own website, this video is for you. Starting July 1st, 2026, the European Union will remove the €150 duty-free threshold for imported parcels. That means every package shipped from China to EU customers may face a new fixed customs duty in addition to VAT. This new policy is commonly referred to as the TPC policy. In this video, we'll cover why this tax reform is happening, important implementation dates, the three biggest challenges sellers need to know, how it will affect your product pricing, DailyFulfill solution, and Q&A. If you only want to know what DailyFulfill solution, feel free to skip directly to part 5. At DailyFulfill, we've spent the last 9 years helping e-commerce brands source, fulfill, and scale their business. We've worked with more than 6,000 sellers worldwide, from new store owners to 7-figure brands. If you are running a Shopify store selling on Amazon, Etsy, or WooCommerce, you are in the right place. To help you grow faster, we've put together a free growth kit filled with latest e-commerce insights and strategies. Hit the like button, subscribe, and turn on the little bell so you will never miss an update. I'm Echo from DailyFulfill. Let's dive in. The main reason behind this reform is the EU's long-term plan to build a DDP system. The goal is to create a digital identity for every product and track its entire life cycle, from raw materials and manufacturing to distribution, usage, and recycling. This allows the EU to improve product transparency, compliance, and environmental checking. Previously, products imported into the EU from non-EU countries could enter duty-free if the declared value was under €150. This exemption was based on EU regulation EC number 1186/2009. However, after years of explosive growth in cross-border e-commerce, three major problems appeared. First, package volume exploded. In 2024 alone, the EU imported approximately 4.67 billion low-value parcels. That's about 12 million packages every single day. Compared to 2023, the volume nearly doubled. Second, large-scale undervaluation became a serious issue. EU officials estimate that around 65% of imported parcels were declared below their actual value in order to avoid customs duties. Third, customs authorities simply couldn't keep up. With billions of parcels entering Europe every year, effective inspection became nearly impossible. The EU estimates that removing the exemption could generate around €7 billion in additional customs revenue every year. Originally, the reform was scheduled for March 2028. However, countries such as France, Italy, and Romania pushed an earlier implementation. In 2025, low-value imports increased again to around 5.88 billion parcels, a further 26% increase. As a result, in November 2025, EU member states agreed to accelerate the timeline and begin implementation in 2026. If this reform successfully generates the expected customs revenue, we believe countries such as the UK and Norway may introduce similar measures in the future. Let's quickly walk through the most important dates. Our prediction is that the EU will use the transition period between 2026 and 2028 to collect large amounts of customs data. By comparing platform sales data, customs declaration data, and the VAT reporting data, the EU will create a complete compliance system covering the entire import process. In short, the goal is full transparency and full traceability. Now let's talk about the three changes that will directly affect sellers. Change 1. A new fixed duty of €3 per item. Starting July 1st, 2026, low-value imports from non-EU countries will be subject to a temporary fixed customs duty. The amount is simple, €3 per item. But here's the important part. The word item doesn't necessarily mean one physical product. Under the new rules, an item is defined as one or more products that share the same first 6 digits of the HS code, the same product description, the same country of origin. So if multiple products meet all three conditions, they can be treated as one item. However, if your package contains different product categories, each category may be counted and charged separately. Let's quickly explain what an HS code is. An HS code is the international classification system used by customs authorities around the world. For example, a women's clothing set may have an HS code like this. The first 2 digits identify the product chapter. The first 4 digits identify the product category. The first 6 digits identify the product subcategory. These first 6 digits are especially important because they determine whether products can be grouped together under the new duty rules. After understanding HS code, let's look at a real example to compare the tax costs before and after the new temporary fixed duty take effect on July 1st. Here's information for 2 products. Let's say you ship 1 package containing 3 cotton t-shirts, 2 pairs of socks. Before July 1st, 2026, the customs duty is 0. Assuming a VAT rate of 20%, your VAT will be approximately €11. Total tax cost €11. After July 1st, 2026, the t-shirt counted as 1 item. The socks counted as another item. That's 2 items total, so you will pay €6 in customs duty. Since customs duty becomes part of the VAT calculation base, VAT also increases. Your VAT rises from approximately €11 to €12.20. Total additional cost, €6 customs duty plus €1.20 extra VAT equals €7.20. Another important thing to remember, this customs duty is non-refundable. Even if your customer returns the product, the €3 duty will not be refunded. And starting November 1st, 2026, an additional parcel handling fee will be added on top of this duty, increasing costs even further. Change 2. IOSS becomes more important than ever. The second major change involves customs clearance. This will especially impact sellers using transit clearance routes within Europe. Let's first understand the difference between IOSS and non-IOSS shipments. IOSS stands for Import One-Stop Shop. It's a simplified tax system designed specially for non-EU sellers. If you're using IOSS, you collect VAT from customers at checkout. You submit VAT through a monthly report. Your shipments can clear customs in the country where it first enters the EU. This process is generally faster and more efficient. However, if you're not using IOSS, starting July 1st, 2026, your shipment must clear customs in the customer's destination country. You can no longer import into one EU country and then transfer the parcel to another country before customs clearance. For sellers relying on transit routes, this is a significant change. Change 3. Product identification codes become mandatory. The third major change involves product data. Starting July 2026, product identifier can be submitted voluntarily. Starting November 1st, 2026, they become mandatory. The EU requires 3 types of product identification codes, also called PIDs. First, merchant product identifier. Second, manufacturer product identifier. Third, global product identifier. If available, this identifier should be provided. It has the highest priority and provides the strongest product verification capability for customs authorities. Providing incorrect or misleading information may violate Article 163 of the EU Customs Code and could result in penalties. Looking ahead, this entire PID framework is closely connected to the EU's future digital product passport initiative. The long-term goal is to connect customs compliance, product compliance, and product safety into one unified system. Now let's take a look at the questions every seller cares about most. How much will this actually cost? Let's use a simple example. Assume the following. Let's look below. So under the new policy, the customer pays approximately €3.60 more for the same product. For lower ticket products, this increase can have a noticeable impact on conversion rates and profitability. That's why it's important to start reviewing your pricing strategy, product bundles, and fulfillment setup before the new rules take effect. Now, everything we've covered in part 1 through 4 mainly applies to sellers who handle their own shipping and customs processes. If you are a dropshipper working with DailyFulfill, the good news is that your workflow will remain exactly the same. We will continue to provide DTP shipping. In other words, your customers will not need to pay any additional customs fees or taxes when receiving their packages. DailyFulfill will continue to handle all customs-related procedures in compliant and legal manners, including customs declarations, PIDs, IOS requirements, import compliance procedures. From an operational standpoint, nothing changes for you. However, because this new duty is required by law, import costs will increase compared to before. The exact increase depends on your products and the shipping method. For detailed pricing information, please contact your private agent. We understand that this policy creates new challenges for sellers, but please know that DailyFulfill is committed to supporting our clients through this transition, just as we always have. Our goal is simple: stay compliant, avoid customs risks, and make this transition as smooth as possible for our partners. As always, if you have any questions, please reach out to your private agent. Now let's talk about what you can do to protect your margins and adapt to the new rules. Based on feedback from many of clients, here are new practical strategies that can help. Number 1, adjust your pricing strategy. This policy has a much smaller impact on high-ticket products. If you are selling lower-priced products, we recommend making moderate price adjustments to share part of the additional costs with customers. As we showed in Part 4, even a small increase in selling price can help offset most of new duty costs. Number 2, bundle similar products. Product bundling can be an effective way to reduce the impact of the new duty. For example, instead of selling accessories separately, consider including them as part of a product bundle or promotional offer. By increasing the value of each order, the additional customs costs can be spread across multiple products, helping protect your profit margin. Number 3, consider selling through your own website. For sellers operating mainly on marketplaces such as Amazon, the new policy may create additional challenges. In many cases, marketplaces cannot consolidate different HS codes into a single declaration. As a result, multiple product categories in same order may generate higher custom costs. For some sellers, building a Shopify store or other D2C website may provide greater flexibility and better control over fulfillment and profitability. Number 4, consider overseas warehousing. For established sellers with stable order volume, overseas warehousing may become even more attractive. DailyFulfill has partnered 3PL in Germany. Products shipped directly from the EU warehouse to customers within the European Union are not subject to the temporary fixed duty. This can help reduce customs costs, improve delivery speed, and create a better customer experience. No, customers will not charge any additional fees upon delivery. The receiving process remains the same as before. Yes, just like before, our quoted shipping rates include the new customs duty. Our service remains fully DTP. During the initial implementation period, we expect possible delays of approximately 2 to 3 days as customs authorities adjust to the new procedures. We recommend planning inventory and promotions accordingly. It depends on the products ordered by your customers. However, whenever possible, we will consolidate eligible products under the same HS code classification to help reduce customs costs. For example, for products with custom packaging, we typically declare the HS code of the primary product rather than separately declaring packaging materials. This helps minimize unnecessary duty charges while remaining compliant. If there's anything in these updates that you are still unsure about, feel free to leave a comment below or contact your private agent. We are always happy to help. A true partnership isn't just about growing together when business is good. It's also about supporting each other when challenges arise. Please rest assured that we are actively working with our logistics partners to identify the best possible solutions and reduce the impact on our clients. We will continue to closely monitor policy developments and will keep you informed of any updates, optimization opportunities, or alternative solutions as soon as they become available. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you'll never miss updates from DailyFulfill. See you in the next video.